Well, hello, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, November the 14th, 2023. Tuesday, November the 14th. Well, we start today out with Jack and Diane looking at something on his tablet, and Ashley comes down saying, "Hey, good morning." And, Jack is like, you know how Jack is, "Morning, Ash." And she goes, "Ooh, what's going on here?" And so Diane says, "You probably should tell her." So he goes, "We are about to release the information on that we have on Tucker with that music artist that his company represented, and with the whole sexual harassment thing. We're about to just release it, and it's going to go." And Diane says, "We have it set to release on global outlets as well." So Ashley's like, "Really? That's a bold move, Jack." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm with Billy on this accord. We need to take an aggressive stance against Tucker." And so Ashley says, "Okay, but see, what if it doesn't have the desired effect you want? And if you do this, Tucker won't have he has nothing to lose now, because see, everything will be out there, Jack. And like, truth be told, Tucker wasn't even running the company then. It's his, but he was off, right? He wasn't in charge. So okay." She goes, "Now, he will for sure come after Jabot, if you do this. So I don't know." She goes, "Look, Jack, just give me more time. Let me see what I can do." And he goes, "But Ash, no, that puts you in more proximity with Tucker. I don't want you involved like that." And so she goes, "Jack, I know Tucker more than anyone. It don't count me out so fast. Just give me just a little time. Let's see, before you release this, let's see what I can do." And he's like, "Okay." She goes, "Let's see what I can do." And she leaves. So now Jack is talking to Diane saying, "I hate that Ashley's now going to be in his crosshairs and blah, blah, blah. She thinks she has a handle, but what if she falls back for him again?" And Diane says, "Ashley, probably out of all of us, Jack, does have the best insights to Tucker." She said, "So what's giving her a little more time? This information isn't going anywhere. But if Ashley can get the job done, then all the better, right?" And so Jack, finally he had to agree with it, and that. Fast forward. So then we have, this was a cute scene. Adam is at the GCAC bar, drinking something, maybe coffee, because it's early in the day. I didn't really notice if he was drinking a drink. And Nate comes in. So Nate goes up to him, and Adam says, "Oh, good morning, boss." Oops, slip of the tongue. He goes, "Woo," because you no longer boss. Mr. How's unemployment treating you? And Nate's just looking at him. So then they get back into a little pissing contest back and forth. And yeah, Victor thought he was going to catch you in that trap, Adam. Oh, but he didn't. Caught you. Uh-huh. And he goes, "Your plan was ripe for you to try to do a hostile takeover." And Adam leans back and he goes, "We'll never know that now, will we?" He said, he says, "Matter of fact," he says, "because you are out in the cold." He says, "Chilly. Must be chilly." And Nate is just looking. "We just had some thunder and lightning, and my dog is scared. Let me go put her in another room. Hang on, y'all." So Adam's like, "The difference is," because Nate's like, "Well, look, you're just as unemployed as I am. You were my assistant. And now that I'm not there, we're both unemployed." He goes, "Ooh, Nate, Difference is, I'm a Newman. We're not in the same boat. And he goes, really? So what job has Victor offered you? And Adam says, uh, those details are in the works right now. He goes, oh, so in other words, nothing. Yeah, yeah. Hang on to hope, Adam. And so then Adam says something back to him, and as you know, they're cat and mouse in it. And Mamie walks up. So what's going on here? And Adam says something, a little cordial. And so then he's like, well, good afternoon, Mamie. And Adam's leaving. And as she mutters under her breath, that's Miss M to you. And I thought, why don't you say that to his face, Mamie? What's Mamie's last name? I don't even know, right? Because it would be, that's Miss Barker, right? Whatever your last name is, and just say, you know what, I prefer Miss Jones. So, you know, Mamie. So anyway, she and Nate talk, and they're talking. She said, oh, good. He tells her what happens. And she goes, of course, that's typical Victor. But now you're a free agent. Now we can get you back to Chancellor Winters. And he goes, you're getting ahead of yourself. She goes, no, not really. He goes, look, Devon and Lily are going to want to know what happened at Newman Enterprises. He says, even though I was fired unjustly, I was not trying to, do anything wrong to Victor or whatever they're saying. He says, I was doing the right thing. Devon and Lily, I don't know if they'll be so quick to believe that. And so Mamie says, look, for one thing, let's just all get together and talk. It doesn't have to come up. And so Nate says, yeah, but I think it will. That made me. She goes, then tell the truth. Say what you said to me. Tell what happened. They know how the Newmans are. I don't want you to hide from that. So he's like, okay, whatever. So we'll see what Mamie's gonna get to do. And then we have Chloe and Sally talk. I'm telling you, I don't ever remember seeing Chloe this happy. Do you see the smile on her face? I don't think I've ever seen that before. She was so happy that Sally asked her to come work for her again, saying, I know you're working for somebody else. But you said, that it may not be going the way you want. Is there any way you could come and be a part of Sally Designs, Sally Spectre Designs? And so Chloe says, she goes, because Chloe, the way we bounced off of each other and the way you brought your insights to the meeting with Daniel. And she goes, it just felt, she goes, yeah, we were finishing each other's sentences. She goes, exactly. That's the creativity I need. I need you. And so Chloe said, well, you know what? I just had a meeting with Summer and Chelsea, and I told them it wasn't going to work out with me working there. And she goes, oh, really? She goes, well, then, would this mean you would consider coming to work with me? And she goes, since that's your offer and you really mean it, then yes, 100 times yes, I want to come back and work with you. So they both, they jump up and they hug each other, and Adam is walking in seeing this display, right? And so he goes and sits at the bar, and he catches Sally's eye, and she kind of zones out for a minute thinking about them in the sack the night before or 2 nights before, right? And he's looking at her, and he kind of smiles at her, and she's just, goodness, thinking about him. Chloe gets a glimpse of it. And then Chloe started right back on her Chloe-ness. Yeah, get back. What kind of look was that? That was almost a smile on his face. And you look like you were enjoying it. Oh, she says, I hope this does not mean you are getting sucked right back. She goes, no, Chloe, it was just a look. There's nothing going. See, good. Keep that close to the vest. There's nothing going on with me and Adam. You can relax. Okay, because that's bad, right? That is bad. Oh, I'm thinking, Stop trying to be her mother. Stop it. Not even a good best friend doing stuff like that. Sally's a grown woman. So anyway, the next deal is Nikki going with Claire. She tells Victor and her meet before she leaves, and she's saying, she goes, I want you to patch things up with Victoria. And Victor says, oh, I'm going to bring all of my children together, all of them. And Nikki says, ooh, I'm happy I won't be here for that, because that's going to be, whoop. He goes, no, this is of my making. He says, and I'm going to stop this. All this infighting, she says, I'm done with it. She says, you know what, darling, I do agree with you. All this infighting is just draining. And I am looking forward to getting away. He goes, have a great time with your sister. You're going to meet this great Aunt Jordan. And when you come back, I would have fixed things. She goes, well, I hope so. So she and Jordan get to this quaint little lake house. It looks really nice, and Nikki's admiring the surroundings and the setting. She goes, this is really quaint and beautiful here. And so she goes, yeah. She goes, well, where's your great Aunt Jordan? Because Nikki needs to get out of here. And she goes, oh, I'm sure she's in her favorite chair at the lake. And then she looks on the little coffee table and says, oh, here's a note. Gone to the doctor. Tina from next door took me. I'll be back. Enjoy a spot of tea while you wait. And so Nikki says, well, how thoughtful of her. And so she goes, that's my great Aunt Jordan. She's so thoughtful. And so she goes, okay, well, um, I love tea too. She goes, she loves tea. She goes, I love tea. So Jordan pours her a cup and pours herself a cup, Nikki a cup and herself a cup, gives it to Nikki. Nikki starts drinking it and is enjoying it. And she goes, this tea is a little different. What kind of tea is this? And she says, I don't know. And so Claire kind of just distracts her with a bit of something else. And then Nikki says, I guess that plane ride hit me harder than I thought. And Claire says, really? Because it wasn't that long of a plane ride. And so she goes, yeah, she goes, and you know what? You haven't drinking any of your tea. And so Claire looks at her and says, what did she say? Transparency or truth be told? She goes, tea is not my thing. And Nikki kind of looks at her because she's thinking, you sure have been drinking a lot of tea in the office, pretending like tea is your thing, right? And she says, oh, no, I'm suddenly not feeling well. Something is wrong. So now Claire's standing up. Nikki says, no, I'm feeling lightheaded and something is wrong. So she's trying to put the cup down and it drops onto the coffee table and spills. And she goes, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. And she goes, I need some water. And so Claire goes, it'll be okay. So she goes, no, I'm not feeling well. She goes, things are going to be as they should. And Nikki says, what? What's that supposed to mean? And she's like, no, I need. And so she's trying to stand up and she falls to her knees and she's bracing herself on the coffee table. And she's looking at the look on Claire's face. And it's the look of, yeah. And I'm like, where are they going with this storyline? Now, the Newman jet, Victor's going to know where they landed. They're going to easily follow whatever ride share they used, unless Nikki had a driver take her there. But I bet you they just Ubered there, right? But I kind of think they're going to kidnap Nikki. Or Nikki's going to be laid out, passed out, and watch. We're going to have a lookalike Nikki walk in. And they're going to replace Nikki with a fake Nikki. How would that work? How could that possibly work? But I'm thinking, watch them come up with that stupid, silly storyline where they switch places and put a fake Nikki in. If they don't do that, then Nikki's going to come up missing for a while, and then the whole family is going to be frantic trying to find her. And that's going to be the new crisis, the new storyline that they're going to go with. So, what are your thoughts? Daily recap, family. What do you think they're getting ready to do with this storyline? Clearly, Nikki's getting ready to get abducted. Now, are they going to put somebody in her place? Or are they going to demand ransom? Which would never work. But anyway, they might try. So that's it. No comments from Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of The Young and the Restless. One last thing that I had to add to this. This was really good. Victoria sits down because, Victor calls them in and he wants to know, where do you guys stand? So Nicholas says, yes, he will come back. He says, will you come back, my boy? Will you work with me? And he goes, yes, Dad, I'm in. He sits down. Then Victoria sits, she stands. Well, I don't know. And he goes, what don't you know? I don't like what, though, with what you did to Nate. And she goes, Nate had bad intentions. Nate needed to go. And he goes, and I hate to tell you this, but you have terrible taste in men. That's what Victor told her. From Billy Boy Abbott to J.T. Hallstrom to Ashlyn Locke and now Nate Hastings. And she's just standing there. Oh, so you're going to just bring up my personal life into all this? He goes, yeah, because you want Nate Hastings to still be here. She goes, matter of fact, you need to cut him out of your life so you can concentrate on Newman Enterprises. And she goes, you don't control my personal life. And he says, well, are you in or are you out, Victoria? So she goes, I will not walk away from Newman Enterprises. I have worked too hard. And so she turns around and she sits down, too hard, and I've made positive changes, and the company was doing, and I don't want those changes to just go, go back the way they were. And Nate says, and Nick says, and I wholeheartedly agree, she did a good job while she was CEO. And Victor says, and I agree she did too. He says, however, let me make sure you both understand. I will not be vacating this chair anytime soon because I'm going to do it better, right? I'm going to make things better. And so Victoria looks at him. She goes, and you must know that it is going to take some time for you to build up your trust. You're going to have, no, she says, you're going to have to put some effort in and building up my trust in you. And he looked at her and he leaned forward. He says, my darling, that goes both ways. And Victoria kind of sat there. She thought she had the upper hand. And he straight in her face, that goes both ways. And Nicholas kind of looked at Victoria and she just straight, okay, yeah, don't blink, girl, don't blink. So then she goes, oh, and it comes with a caveat. Me continuing on at Newman Enterprises means Adam cannot have a position of power in this company, or I walk. And Victor looked at her. Nicholas looked at her. And he goes, I have to agree with Vic, Dad. Adam should not have any position of power in the company. He goes, and so Victor says, look, All of this infighting, you guys are all my children. He says, all of this infighting's got to stop. I'm putting a stop to it. And so Nick says, Adam has never acted like he was a part of this, done anything for this family. And Victor should have said, your daughter, my granddaughter, right now is walking around with a kidney from Adam. He should have threw that in Nick's face. I don't know why they didn't write that. He should have threw it. He's made the ultimate sacrifice. He's gone under the knife. Adam is forever walking around with one kidney and nothing better happened to it, or he'll need a kidney transplant, right? And so Victor says, Adam will be at this company, and he is going to have a position of importance. That is non-negotiable. All of this infighting is gonna stop. Oh, it's like, I've had it with you two. Really, it's you. Well, because he told Adam pretty bad, but he says, I've had it with you two. Adam will be here, and it will be a position of power, or an important position, a position of importance in the company. He's my son. And you want to know, did Victoria stand up and walk out? No, she did not. Victoria sat there, and so did Nick. Like, ooh, I think we pushed the button a little too hard. I think so. So anyway, everybody, I forgot that part. I had to throw that in. So that's it now, everybody. I'm going to add this to the end, so I don't have to say the end all over again. See you tomorrow for another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.